Okay, part 2 of types of training and what to expect. So group work can occur in both online study and in the face-to-face training room. Group work can be a requirement of any course, or you might want to form or join a study group. These tips apply regardless of whether it's a voluntary thing or whether it's something that's required as your part of your training. And if working in a group in terms of assessment was something that was going to be a potential concern for you, then that would be a question that you'd ask about assessment methods up front when you're looking at your different training providers, because group work is definitely something that could be part of a particular course but isn't a part of every course. Every training provider doesn't necessarily include group work in their course, but they could. So undertaking GovStudy gives you the opportunity to work with other students in a variety of ways. We're on page 33 of the Success for You guide. In a team, you can form study groups, deliver joint oral presentations, motivate each other, support each other, do research together, share resources, cooperate on assessment tasks, and plan your group assignments. Teamwork involves cooperation and a willingness to acknowledge the different skills and talents of others, which can be shared for the benefit of all. These different skills and talents may include organising, planning, scheduling, timekeeping, leading, researching, analysing, summarising, word processing skills, computer program use. It definitely is one that I've come across as a vocational education and training trainer, that working in groups or with a partner can really be of benefit if one student doesn't feel confident with technology and the other student does. Then obviously it's of that technology expertise is of benefit and a great way to train somebody in the technology side that's sometimes just assumed these days with training and not necessarily taught. Obviously if it was a computer course it would be taught, and then vice versa. The student with less technology skills definitely still has skills to bring to any group assignment, and it's about making sure that everybody in the group is able to draw on their skills and expertise and contribute to the group task. When you're working in a group, there's certain team guidelines suggested for working effectively in a team. There needs to be trust and respect in the team. Communication needs to be open and confidential in the team. So basically what's said in the team needs to stay in the team. Cooperation and sharing of ideas needs to occur. The expression of ideas and opinions. So you don't have to just go along and agree, but express your opinions. Decisions are reached by consensus, so by negotiation and ultimately majority rules if the opinions of others can't be changed through discussion. And there needs to be an acknowledgement and use of each other's skills. Having conflict within a team is normal and can be a good learning opportunity as long as it's discussed appropriately. It's important to remember that language needs to be respectful and professional, and basically what would be acceptable in the workplace. So a professional, business-like type workplace is what would be expected in the sort of language you use and manners you use with other students. Group work online is often put together. A little online group will be put together, and you'd have your own online workspace to discuss in, post different versions of group tasks in and see each other's, and then work on them together. There's lots of online tools available to help you manage, and apps available to help you manage group work when you're in physically different locations. So that's all available today, and can really make working together in a group online effective and productive, and mean that everyone can have meaningful roles. Okay, practical sessions. In most vocational courses, you'll need to learn a skill or many skills. A skill is the ability to perform a number of actions with repeated success, and can often be broken down into a number of sub-skills. Usually, learning a skill involves gaining relevant knowledge, understanding what you need to do and to what standard. The course readings often cover the knowledge, what you need to understand. There are some skills that can be easily practiced in training, in the training room, especially face-to-face classroom training. For example, CPR, practicing on a dummy, making a cappuccino, using a word processing program, and so on. Many skills that can be practiced in training. Even in online training, word processing obviously is an easy one. Something like CPR, I don't know if they're doing that by online, but the only way that the assessor would actually be able to assess properly would be if you had a video component that you could submit yourself, conducting the CPR and going right through the whole process. So I would be surprised if that has been set up, but if it was, then you'd absolutely, as a student, need to have the technology and the setup on hand to be able to film or have yourself filmed quite well for a whole big overview back. What am I trying to say? Not just a little Skype camera on your computer, but a camera that could film you in action, going through the scenario and performing the whole CPR and the whole emergency response. So that would be things that they would specify up front if the training organisation offered that sort of assessment. There's lots of other skills that are harder to practice or demonstrate in the training room. CPR in online training, for example, being one of them. Workplace training is required for practice and demonstration of the skills that are hard or impossible to demonstrate in a training room or in an online training course. So the training provider would put together a whole assessment tool for you to complete, or number of assessment tools even, for you to work through and complete in your practical work placement. And you need to do all of those tasks with the assistance and supervision of your workplace supervisor, which is somebody who works in that organisation. It's not somebody connected with the training organisation. And they sign off on your competence, and often there'll be a workplace assessor coming out from the registered training organisation as well, to watch you in the workplace and question you, and also sign off on your practical skills, your workplace competence. Those sorts of things might be just some examples, as well as the first aid one, but might be a small group activity for young children, communicating effectively with people from a variety of cultures, all sorts of things that are best demonstrated in the workplace. Watching a demonstration. So either online, via video, And in the training room, being taught via demonstration is a common method. When watching a demonstration or a demonstration of a skill, you need to pay attention to why things are done a certain way. The trainer will be explaining certain techniques, materials, methods. You need to ask questions about what can happen if the task is done differently. What if you do it too quickly, too slowly, in a different order, and understand those reasons why something is done the way it's done. There's a series of tips in the Success for You guide on page 34, things to look out for during the demonstration. Just little key word phrases to clue you in that something is extra important, and also how to fix mistakes along the way. If this happens, you could do this. And then once you've gone through those demonstrations, you'll practice. You'll do something yourself, either in the training room or in the workplace, or both. Say you were observing children as part of a childcare course, then you and learning a certain observation method and how to record your observation. Then after you've watched the demonstration and the trainer's taking you through that, then they might put up a video and get you to do your own notes from that observation in the training room. And obviously out in the workplace, these methods can be combined, and you can be practicing in the workplace setting as well. So things to think about when you're practicing and demonstrating. Do you have all the materials and equipment you need before you start? Remember how to do the task safely. Don't rush. Ensure the quality and quantity is appropriate. Think about what will make you perform the task accurately. Find out what improvements you can make, so what feedback you can get after the task is complete, and keep practicing. The more often you do a task, the easier it will be. And absolutely take every opportunity when you're out in the workplace to practice while